Well, on this morning in not so sunny day, I'm just finishing off a short little paper. Recently, I've put together a climate change ePub. I've called it "The Weather is Water's Dance," which I think aptly looks at the problem. And the paper is there to give to a group of people that have given me about 10 minutes to reduce 22,000 words into a short little paper with some sense to it. Hard task, I know, but hey ho, I talk fast. So the paper is looking at the way that climate change is affecting our planet and the way that we look at the climate and the weather. And the difference between the two is the weather is the complete thing and the climate is the local look at it. So I've been pulling this together and I've gone through it and looked at little tiny pieces of the main book that I think highlight the problem we've got with water, and that is the scarce ability of it and how it works. We look at the weather with models, and the models are very sophisticated computer programs that try and bring information together to give us some form of understanding of where the weather is going. At best, we can only predict 2 or 3 days at the best. After that, the percentages go down. And if they come onto the weather program and say the weather's going to be like this next week, which is 7-10 days away, then it's a complete guess. If they may be right, it's just a guess. So what I've done is I've pulled this together and looked at the different models and why it's important that we start to understand all this. I went through and looked at the way that we look at these long-range forecasts. And you may be asking why a construction technologist starts to look at this. Well, we build in any weather. We have to. But if we can look at the start and end date of any project and try and fit it into a period where we're going to get decent weather or whether we can cope with on the construction site, then it saves a lot of money. So looking at the weather forecast and how it will affect that project and your start date is hugely important. Some people will buy this in. In other words, they'll go to a weather company and ask them to tell them when it's likely to be bad and we can stop the contract. Obviously, if you're working in Alaska or the northern continents towards the Arctics, then you are limited in terms of the summer period. You've got to get it all in there, regardless of what happens with the weather, because you're not going to be able to build in a howling gale of snow and minus something other climate. So, there is good reason to do it. I worked on a job a long time ago doing roofing in Runcorn, in just below Liverpool. And they had a guy who did nothing else but sit in a chair and watch the weather. And as soon as he said incoming weather 10 minutes, they had that 10 minutes to try and seal the roof, tie everything down, shut the boilers down and get off the roof, because he was usually the guy who had most experience in this type of stuff. So it's an important factor, both health and safety wise, but also cost wise. So the paper is trying to look at the way that weather is so influential to our water, the stressed areas of the planet, the way that we pollute our water that's palatable, why we should be using rainwater to flush loos, that sort of thing. It's important. And I think it's time that my little book may go out as a complete ePub. I'll probably put the book onto my private site on Substack, and then people can come and pick it up. In the meantime, have a look at this. It's all the paper I'm giving in Wednesday this week or something like that. And everything's done. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.